Hey, I'm struggling with modeling. Are you struggling with the texturing? Are you struggling with the animation?
Okay, that's enough. This is like I find few add-ons and I trying using it and it turns out pretty well. So I thought like why not create a video on that, like what add-ons I like the most. They all gonna be useful. If you are using Blender, then these add-ons are gonna be very useful to you. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so this is called the simple deform and it just does the deform, like the main thing. So what it does, if you using simple deform before, you can see this is now a bit different. So you get a simple like cube to adjust. So let's add few subdivision, then deform it. So let's suppose we deforming it in the Z axis and now you can deform it. So like how much you want or how much like you can do with the deform, it's the same as before. So it have few additional controls, like you can see the upper portion and the lower portion, and it just do the exact same as the deform does. So it's pretty useful, gonna be pretty handy for deformation if you create deformation like those ones. So definitely you should try this one. It is actually pretty handful for me, and I guess it's gonna be handful for many people, and it have lot more settings to help you with the deformation and things. It also makes the work a lot easier and it is free, so grab it. Okay, next is ND, that means non-destructive, and you may in like how many features it have. Yeah, it have a lot of features. So it is based on the non-destructive workflow. Like you have a lot of things and I don't even know like where to start or what to do with this. Like most of them have very automated, like you can use the bolt head for screws, or you can use arrays in circular motion in like normal arrays how you does, but it will be a lot more faster than before. You can do a lot with the non-destructive workflow, and the shortcut is shift 2. So you know that like this, how much time you need to array that much. So you need to go to modified and then go, but you can just simply click and then array, and you can array. And the main feature is you can array in portion, like 3 arrays in a row. Then you can array like the circular array or something like that. It is pretty helpful. I mean, if you doing like video game productions and things, it will be helpful. Okay, next is for texture painting. For if you know like Blender can do texture painting also, so it is very useful. It have most of the feature a texture painting software need to have. Also it enable the, it does the layer based painting, so you can also paint in layering, or if you want like some places need to be that, and it is pretty good actually. I can't show a full-fledged tutorial on how to texture or like texture paint with this tool, but yeah, you can see like it have a lot more flexibility in terms of you need to use that. It have many extra features, like you can one click add cavity test maps, and they are maps actually, so you can literally save them, modify them in Photoshop or any editing software or inside Blender also. Like you can just like paint over the maps you just drawn, because they are just like literally pictures. It is very useful, and I previously used Substance Painter for a few cases, but right now I guess it is not necessary. And definitely you can also add like your brush sets in the brush section, so now it is going wild. Okay, so our next is the Condex Py. Not for me, but I guess few people wanna need this. It's basically a Py menu for editing and like modeling stuff, but can be pretty helpful, especially if you are switching from Maya and other stuff softwares like that. It is pretty helpful. Who knows the technique of working with this, gonna be helpful. Okay, next one is for UV editing. There must be some cases where you used the tile map to show like how much you can condense the stretching or how less you can stretch in UV maps. So this add-on help you to check your UV unwrap. It's not help you with UV unwrapping, but it's more like all the UV unwrapping stuff, and then you unwrapping a UV, and it just helps you in that prospect. So like which places have problems, which places have the deformation or the pixel density, the UV density. Okay, so it's almost like for professional artists, but as a beginner, if you are going to do that, you can try. Our next tool is pretty much like for game asset creation. Most people I saw like do indie games and stuff, they do it in Blender. So they're almost use Blender in all cases. Tool actually helps you to position your mesh, export your mesh data and all the stuff. So if you are into game dev, it does not matter. You can do solo or like a production house if you have. So it helps you with the renaming, the UVs, the texturing, the exporting. It's mainly for export unit. So exporting with certain data, certain materials, or exporting different type of data, different type of materials for game. It is pretty helpful. So if you are going to create games or like something like that, it's gonna be pretty helpful for you. Okay, our next is node editor switcher. This is like the node I always need. This is the add-on I always need. So what it does, you can switch your like node tools to compositor, world shader, material shader, and the geometry nodes. It's gonna be so much helpful. The shortcut of color picker in Blender is go over the color you need to pick or need to change, press E, and then you get the color picker tool from there. So it's a small tip. Next is Ikea or Ikea Browser, whatever you say. So it's not working in 4.3. I tried, so it's only working in 4.2 right now. Maybe in future update it will work in 4.3 or in final update. Firstly, you think like it is normal a asset browser, online asset browser. You have like normal in Blender kit I have about, you can see that. But it's not like your average or normal asset browser library. It's not asset library. What it means, like you can literally search the same thing in Blender and you may find more result than this library. Okay, more free result, and you may find the same results also. What it does, or what it actually is better than Blender is, those are real life furnitures. Like those really exist in the world, you can say. And yeah, you can literally order the exact model if you want. So if you are into interior design, you can literally just go there, copy the model name or the name, and you can just bring it in Blender. It brings the exact 3D model of that product. Probably you may find the same things in your room, or you are doing your interior design for your house or someone else. You can suggest them to buy it from Ikea and show them like exact products, how it gonna look like in real life after the rendering or after creating the home. So it's a great way. Next is noise nodes, and it's not much to say about them, but it literally more noise nodes you can get from there. So it's just more noise you can get, the more noise patterns. So there are dots, and you can say like it's like the old Voronoi node or Musgrave texture you have before, kind of that, but a little different than that. You can use it in many cases. So yeah, the rest is depend on you. It's just like few noise patterns extra, and what nothing to say about it. Okay, so our next is for animation, and it provides us a real-time curve how our animation going to move. So let's move this default cube a little bit. So after moving, you can see we have that, and in the timeline you can get this animation, and you calculate that, you get the curve. You get the animation curve. This is very helpful for animators it's very helpful for those simple or complex animations. You can also use it in complex animations, like the hand movements, the like work cycles, any type of animation. You just need to select that bone or the object, and you can just like see the how the curve is going. Don't apply for all, but yeah, it's pretty useful. Next is simply the bouncing curve, and I probably show few tutorials on this on YouTube, but yeah, this is how it works. It just creates few bouncing curve over any object. I just like place few circles for that, but you can create any. It create every point from your origin of one object to another, and you can like create this type of ball bouncing animation or stuff with this particular add-on. I don't know, like can probably make cables, hanging cables or stuff. So yeah, probably somebody gonna like that. Next is for abstract modeling artist, or if you are love with abstract modelings or abstract models, those are the curve section, or like a bunch of curve for you, and they are pretty good. There are few complex curves. You can change them, you can modify them, apply few textures. It gonna look very good. If you are into abstract modeling, you can definitely try them. Next is 3D Print Toolbox. It's basically for 3D printing tools, and you have all the basics of what you need for 3D printing. Like if you have holes in your model, it will fill the holes. Okay. No joke. It just like so if sometimes like you have few holes or few like deformed geometry, it will fix them. It will like solidify if you want to solidify your mesh inside. So it's very useful for it that case. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like this tutorial. I hope this tutorial helps you to find your best add-on. Like I liked almost most of them, so I'm gonna probably use from now on. For a few cases I can use them and they are nice. So that's all. Let's see you in the next video.